Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. This is episode 174, I think. I've kind of lost track lately. I've been dealing with a lot of stuff and I'm behind on these, and my hope is to catch up, but if I don't catch up, it's sometimes, it's all about the effort and what you learned along the way and all that Zen bullshit. This is going to be part one of three. I got three people in my life that either died or are dying, and I want to just talk about all three of them. First one is Jay Jones, who we had a memorial for on Saturday at the Mercury Cafe, where, as many of you guys know, I do comedy shows, but I also was able to access one of the rooms there to have a really nice memorial for him. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And then, second person is John Marsh, who died a week ago, died on Monday, a week ago Monday, and we'll be having his funeral on Friday, but it's in California. I don't know if I can make it. I'd really like to. I think the funeral's actually on his birthday. I know his birthday's right around the 1st of July, and the funeral's on the 2nd. I can't remember. His birthday's right there, like the 2nd or 3rd of July, so that's going to be really weird. And then the third one is my father, who is not doing well, and we'll just but those are going to be 10 minutes dedicated to each of those people because, frankly, that's been what my life has been about lately. I haven't been able to really get out, haven't been able to see, get much into the news, and I want to do something besides just bitch about the weather, which is actually really great. The last 3 days have been rainy and cool, and I love it. My eye is a mess. I don't know if you can see this. My eyes are a mess anyway, but this one, something flew into it, and I get allergies this time of year, so I just had a really bad allergic reaction, so I look even worse than I usually do. But let's get into the memorial and how it went. I think it went really great. Um, Sidebar to this, a real quick sidebar as to the memorial itself. I bought a bunch of liquor stupidly because I thought I could bring it into the Mercury Cafe and we could just do shots. And no, I can't. You can't do that. You can't bring in outside alcohol. And I'm an idiot, and I didn't find out until the night before, and I had bought the liquor the day before, so I'm an idiot. And so, anyone out there who wants to buy some Jaeger or some Fireball whiskey, I got a bunch of it because we thought that those shots were going to do really well. In my heart and in my head, I was like, most of these people are around 50. I don't think we're going to be doing a bunch of shots. It's a memorial, not a wake. We're not just going to get plastered. But it was really nice. And I brought a couple veggie trays and meat and cheese trays, and those did pretty well. So I was happy to contribute not only some food, but also the room. And it was great. I sort of co-hosted it. I was kind of the go-between between the staff and and our guests, of which we had, I say, 80 or 90 in a room that's designed to hold 60 or 70. It was standing room only. It was a beautiful thing. I talked about Jay before, and some of you may have gotten to see that video a couple weeks ago, or maybe even closer to a month ago when we lost him. He had a stroke down in Florida, and now they had just moved down there, he and his family. Now they're looking to come back, and so it's a big mess. And his wife Steph is hurting, but she's very strong. She's doing really great, and she has a great network of friends and family that all loved Jay and all love her, and we're going to get through this, including his daughter, who I may end up seeing at my high school. She currently goes to the middle school that feeds into my high school, so I may see her, I think, in a year or two. I think she's 13, so I think not this year, but next year I'll probably see her at my school, Overland, which is great. Uh, it's been a journey, just a personal journey for me. Just all of a sudden, at this age, and I knew this was going to happen. If you're a reasonable person and you see things, you know that eventually, you get in their 40s, 50s, 60s, your friends are going to start dying. It's just part of life. You might die. You might be one of those friends that dies, and maybe someone will be talking about me next week. Who knows? But especially Jay I wasn't as tight with him as I was with John Marsh, but Jay was an incredible man, a man on really truly larger than life. Not only was he big in stature, but he was just big in his heart and his mind, and just the way, just his embodiment was amazing. He was just a lot of fun. Big, bald, black man. I told a few stories when I got up there. It was great just to see people pass them or go up to the podium and tell stories. It was really wonderful. His family and his friends, his best friend Jason pretty much took over the hosting duties, which was fine with me. I wasn't expecting that. I was expecting to host it, but I was fine that I didn't. It was perfectly okay. And he did a great job. He was very emotional, but that's what I think we needed. We needed that conduit to say, hey, it's okay to cry. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to just feel anything you're feeling in regards to this wonderful man that touched all of our lives. And it was really a beautiful thing. Like, we're all changed because of that person. And that's really a beautiful thing. He was at my bachelor party. The stripper stripped him down because when you're the big black man at a bachelor party with otherwise white men, you're probably going to get your pants pulled down. Well, that happened to him. And then, of course, I was the groom to be, so my pants were pulled down. Funny that a siren went off when I was talking about taking off my clothes. That's interesting. And my brother too. My brother was my best man. He got his pants taken down. So I just talked about that, and everyone laughed about that because it was really funny, and the way I put it out there was funny. He also, I remember stories about him. We'd be just hanging out like at a bar, and like I said, he was big. He was like 6'2", 250, and he looked like an athlete. And inevitably, white girls would come up and go, "Are you a Denver Bronco?" And he'd be like, "No, I'm a Denver lawyer." And he was. So he practiced law. He had a business called Jones Scones, which my parents loved the scones. I'm looking at my parents' door when I said that. And they're going to miss the scones unless Steph can keep the business going. We'll see about that. That's obviously not the most important thing here. But he just seemed to enjoy everything. Every moment he seemed to be happy or angry. The emotions were on his sleeve, and the emotions were real, and you could feel this man when I think I told the story of when they were trying to make me quit at my job, and I was like, no, I applied for a transfer. Nowhere have I ever said or even really hinted that I was quitting. And they said, no, you quit. And I was like, no, I didn't, because this was going into COVID. And so I left early that week because I was having issues at work, and I'm taking the rest of the week off going into spring break. And then COVID hit the day before spring break, and so April comes around, we're not in school, and I get my paycheck, and it's like a week short, and I was like, my paycheck's short for some reason. So they're like, yeah, because you put your 2 weeks in and quit. I go, where does it say anything remotely like that? I go, I told my principal, if you want me here, you'll contact me. When she didn't, I said, okay, I'm applying for a transfer. It's there in black and white. I've got the text to prove it. And so I called Jay, and because he would be my non-retainer lawyer. He often or the second time he gave me advice on my divorce, and then he gave me advice on this. And this is just to illustrate how fast he could turn and get angry for the people he cared about. I told him, yeah, this is what they're doing. And we were exchanging pleasantries, and then he's like, well, what'd you call me for? And I told him, and he's like, no, fuck that. No, you tell him you hired a lawyer. Don't tell him it's me. Just tell him you hired a lawyer, and tell him you've contacted a union. They will stop fucking with you. And he was right, because HR was taking their side. She was like, well, the principal says that. I don't care what she says. I'm telling you, I did not quit that job. Does anyone have anything in black and white or even hearsay of me saying I quit? I never did any of those things. I told her I was getting a transfer. I texted her I was getting a transfer. So this is not black and white. She's trying to fuck me on my way out the door. I get that. But you're siding with her, and you're supposed to be human resources. This is bullshit. And so once I told her, lawyer, union, she's like, oh yeah, I guess you did quit. So thank you, Jay, for that. Thank you for everything. Thank you for this wonderful get-together to meet people I'd never met that you touched all their lives. I hadn't seen his daughter in a very long time, probably 5 years when she was really little. Now she's pretty much a woman. She's a big, tall girl, just like him. Has his stature. She's a big girl, and she's everything he is. She's emotional and smart, and will do well in life. And it was a beautiful thing to watch her speak about her dad. And Steph is going to be fine. I'm convinced she's fine. She's a very strong woman. She was with a strong man. They made a strong kid. And I got to meet his adopted son, Gabriel, who I believe is 24. He's grown up. And it was just nice to meet these people and all these guys. Part of the reason I knew him is because my friend Eric that worked at the movie theater, then went on to work at Rock Island, which is a very popular bar in the late 80s, early 90s. And so all these guys came. It was kind of cute. They're like my age, or all around 50, and because Jay was 52 when he died, and they had these old Rock Island shirts. They were really cool, hip, like black and white shirts with these this cool symbology on them. And so all these dudes came in and they somehow procured. I go, there's no way you guys fit into those shirts. Those are not the shirts you wore when you worked there. No, oh, of course not. No, we got these at Fashion Nation, which is another cool place that's lasted throughout the years. But it was great to be a part of that, and it's great. I'm so happy Jay was part of my life. I'm glad I got to be a small part of his life. We'll go on to part 2 about John Marsh. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for listening to this. Bye.